This is Entrepreneur Street with a local entrepreneur. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us what industry you're in and what you do?
I'm Bornheimer, and I am in the employment industry. I'm an employment consultant, and what I do is I work with people to help them get better employment, and I also work with companies to improve their recruiting process.
Great. Just have a few questions for you, Kathy. What excites you about life as an entrepreneur?
Well, what excites me is I have control. I don't have to answer to a boss. I mean, we all answer to a higher power and to ethics, but I can do things the way I feel that they are best done and in the style that's most compatible to me. So I've got that freedom.
Awesome. How has entrepreneurship changed your life?
It hasn't changed it that much because I came from the world of straight commission outside sales. I worked for companies that were not known organizations. They weren't big companies. I've worked for startup companies. So I actually was already in the mindset and in a lot of the things that you need to have to be an entrepreneur. Self-motivated, self-directed, plus used to the ups and downs and peaks and valleys of payment.
Interesting. Wow. Why have you decided to be an entrepreneur, and what is your experience?
I was actually working for a recruiting company. I'd been there for over 5 years as an associate, and I thought to myself, you know, I've been here long enough as an associate, I'm going to ask for partnership, equity partnership. Well, that went over like a lead balloon, and they made it very clear that they were not going to do that. Then I also, about 6 months later, began to see trends in the industry, and I think maybe this was in the 1991, 92, when there were some changes going on, particularly in engineering and manufacturing. So I thought, you know, it'd be better if, and I thought of actually bringing outplacement into the function of the recruiting firm, because I was working with so many unemployed engineers and manufacturing people and working with them on their resumes and interview prep and things like that. So I presented that proposal to the owners. And that, again, went over like a lead balloon, and they said, and they were impressed, but the comments were, we've never done that before. And the one owner actually said, in fact, I quote him in my first book, The Street Smart Approach to Job Search, think of us as a ship, Kathy. We have set our course, and we're not going to change course. And I thought, we're heading for the rocks. And there wasn't anybody else in the Milwaukee area that I wanted to work for, so I thought I might as well work for myself, and I concentrated on providing outplacement services for the retail, which means not corporate sponsorship, the individual. I did try corporate sponsorship, but I ended up doing more people paying me individually.
Wow, interesting. Now, what is the toughest thing that you have faced as an entrepreneur? And what do you think will continue to be the toughest thing that you will continue to face?
You know, it's always been trying to get health insurance. I'm a solo practitioner, and even if I were to be incorporated or an LLC, I'm still a company of one. And the way everything is done right now, that it is very, very difficult for an individual to get health insurance because there's no risk to share. And as we age, our pre-existing conditions just come up. So it's been a struggle for many, many years. And until things change, I think it's going to continue. And plus, I don't have a backup. There is no other source of income coming in the house and no spouse. So I'm on my own. But I am creative, and I have managed to find ways legally and ethically.
Okay. Now, what is the toughest thing you have faced in your industry and will continue to face?
Right now, the toughest thing, I think, are people, almost a fear factor. It's fear of the workforce that are losing their jobs on how to get their next job. So they basically choke. They instead of doing what they should be doing, which is being proactive, risk-taking, developing relationships with people, they tend to use the same old techniques. Apply for a job online, pray and get disappointed, and then they wonder why. Employers, on the flip side also, are still just too reliant on technology, online application, doing this or that, and then wondering why they're not getting the right candidates because the online application system is being controlled by the computer. So finding people that are able to shift the paradigm and to become proactive, realize that they have got to develop relationships with people in order to make the match. I usually tell people, because my website is a split screen, the workforce and the employer. And workers are saying, why can't I do this? Employers are saying, why can't I do that? And they're asking the same question. And the answer is hire Kathy Bornheimer to get you together so that you're not ships passing in the night. But it's getting people to do that paradigm shift, spend the time and, yes, money in order to do things differently to get success.
That is wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. And one last question.
Sure.
What tips do you have for entrepreneurs?
Before you think about becoming an entrepreneur, actually go through an assessment to see if you are self-motivated, self-directed, because there isn't going to be anybody to tell you what to do. You have to figure out, can I create my own safety nets? Because there's no financial safety net either, nothing to fall back on. And then are you set up for a financial safety net, a good network of people to help you out, and then so that you can go on and do what you want to do, plus get some market research and some feedback. You have to take a look at, what do I have to offer? Why am I better than the other person in order to get this business? And then also find a market where you are not only needed but wanted, and there is a difference. Yeah, they might need your product.
Can you please repeat that?
Okay, you need to find a product or a service in a market where you are not only needed but wanted, because they are two different things.
Great, thank you. Is there anything else that you want to share at this time?
No, I say right now there is no job security, and so this is becoming a more and more viable option, and people have got to consider this, because you can't just put your time in on a job that you are not being fulfilled, because there's no do-over in life. So do what makes you happy.
And would you like to give any contact information, or are you okay?
Oh, sure, yeah. Sure. It's Kathy Bornheimer, and my website is www.streetsmartjobsearch.com. streetsmartjobsearch.com.
Great. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Kathy.
you're very welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.